Okay, y'all, we got us one of them ones. This is a movie where there is no middle ground, all right? You're either going to hate it or you're going to love it. I happen to fall on the love it side of things. Hey, welcome back to Small Couch Reviews, everybody. It's your boy Sam. Do me a favor, if you like this content, please go ahead, hit that like and subscribe button for us. It helps out way more than you can imagine. We really appreciate it. So, yeah, if you can, give us those 2 seconds it takes to click, and you'll be helping out the channel. Appreciate it. Let's get to this review. So, before I begin, I really want to say that this is not a comedy, okay? I know that you probably may have heard it is, and even if you Google it, it'll say like comedy. This is a comedy in the way that Weapons is a comedy, or in the way a movie like The Dark Knight is a comedy. Yeah, sure, you may chuckle, but it's really a drama. And this one is not really going to give you that feeling of, or a jovial feeling where you're laughing out loud. You're really going to be feeling more curiosity and some disturbance. So just want to make sure you know that. Now, Bugonia. It stars Jesse Plemons and Emma Stone and some other people, but those are really the only two you care about in this entire narrative. Directed by Yorgos Lanthimos, who, him and Emma Stone, they may be on their DiCaprio Scorsese run here, man. I mean, frequent collaborators. This is their third one, and all three of them have been hits, in my opinion. So, if you have not seen the trailer, this movie, it's about Jesse Plemons, who is, I guess we'd call him a conspiracy theorist, right? He believes that Emma Stone is an alien and she is here invading our planet, preparing it for a takeover. So he plots to kidnap her and interrogate her so that he can speak to her leaders, who he believes are orbiting the Earth. And that's the movie. So, yes, it is a slow burn, but I do think it pays off. And I'm very glad it pays off because I will tell you right now, the last maybe 10-15 minutes of this movie saved it for me. I'm not going to spoil anything, but let's just say if those last couple minutes didn't happen, I would have left disappointed because I would have felt like there was nobody in the movie that I was kind of rooting for, or I wasn't on anybody's side. So I appreciated that the movie gave me something. So the movie begins kind of brilliantly, I think. Like the first 15 or so minutes is all Jesse Plemons' character. His name is Teddy. And he is talking to his cousin Don, who is recruited for his mission. So through this first 15 minutes, we get exposition. And it's kind of an exposition dump, but the way he's talking to Don, it's done very well. So you learn his entire like manifesto and what he thinks and what he's planning while he's telling Don. And he's not just telling him, he's kind of preparing him. So, they're talking about it. They're going grocery shopping and they're like, he's like, well, why do we need this? He's like, hey, we got to get this to cut her hair so that she can't use her hair to communicate to the mothership. We have to get anti-itch cream so we can spread it all over her body to, block her signals or whatever. And then he's like, we have to be prepared. And they're preparing mentally and physically. So, you see them doing exercises, getting their stamina up for eventually carrying out this, abduction and then interrogation. And let me just say, Jesse Plemons, man, even more than Emma Stone, he really carries this movie. He is the star for me. This is his best role in a while. Not that he's really been in anything bad. I mean, I liked his little cameo appearance in the Civil War movie. But this one is the first one where it feels like, he's center stage and doing a lot of the heavy lifting. Like, again, he's on screen for a while before Emma Stone even comes into the picture. And, he immediately, grabs your attention. So after this introduction, which, again, brilliantly done to get us up to speed, that's when we meet Emma Stone's character, who is the CEO of this biomedical company. And she is basic movie CEO type, where, I mean, when we first meet her, she's filming this commercial about diversity in the workplace. And you hear her say all the right things. Then she messes up a line and she immediately curses and, bangs her hand down and, tells people, hey, we need to fix this script. So you get the feeling like, you know what, you may or may not be an actual good person, but clearly in the workplace, you are a shark and you became this way not by being nice because you have ambition and douchebag tendencies. So the movie really picks up after she's kidnapped and taken to the basement of Teddy, who is Jesse Plemons' character. And those two then have a dialogue. Now this dialogue lasts for days because it's all coming up to the lunar, like a lunar, it's either lunar solstice or lunar eclipse. I'm sorry, I forget. But in a couple of days there's going to be a lunar event. And that is when Teddy believes that the mothership will be in proximity to Earth and they can go talk to the leaders of this alien colony. So the movie is really good because the two leads really take their roles like or portray their characters very well. Emma Stone doesn't react how you think a kidnapped victim would act. You know, when she wakes up, she's very calm, very collected, and she's like, "Okay, what's happening? Why did you do this? Let's have a dialogue." Like that's the word she keeps saying. Let's have a dialogue. She wants to talk, which seems to be frustrating Teddy because he's like, "No, you're just trying to manipulate me with big words and trying to sound sweet or whatever." So it's very interesting watching because she's clearly intellectually like smarter than him, I guess, but he's so convinced with his beliefs in what she is and what she's planning that the tactics that might work on a normal person just don't work on him. But here's the real draw. The movie does an excellent, and I mean excellent job of not telling you what exactly is going on. So your curiosity is piqued. Like, again, I was curious the whole time until these last 10, 15 minutes of the movie because I'm like, yo, like, is she actually an alien? Does he actually believe she's an alien? Because here's the thing, a twist is thrown into it. We find out they actually know each other. Um, Jesse Plemons' character works in the warehouse of the company for which she is the CEO. And, we find out some information about there was some sort of accident and it impacted a bunch of people, including Teddy's mom, who's now like in a coma. So, does he actually think she is an alien plotting to take over the world? Or is he manipulating his cousin into helping him get revenge for his mother? That thought is going to be like probably the most prevalent. And then, of course, because of this director, you are going to be thinking in the back of your head, yo, could she actually be an alien? Like, could she be an alien and she doesn't know it? Are there actually aliens and he got the wrong person? Like, there's so many different theories bouncing around in your head based on how he acts. Because again, he clearly loved his mom and he is very upset at this company. And it comes out in their dialogue where he talks about you did this, you didn't take responsibility for this, and you're like, okay, well, yeah, you're clearly carrying this with you. But at the same time, his mother was also a bit of a conspiracy theorist. So did she pass this down to him and he actually believes all this stuff? You have to watch to find out. So this is basically the movie. That's it. So it's going to be, again, this is why it might be polarizing for some people. If you don't like this premise, this, you're an alien. No, I'm not. And then them having a dialogue for a large part of the movie, you might find this boring. Another thing I will point out, while this movie isn't overly like there's not a lot of violence, there are two scenes that are going to gross you out and you're not going to see them coming. And like my whole theater, like we jumped. Like it's very bloody. It looked very expensive. And we're like, wow, okay. And I mentioned that because it's the only time a scene like with blood like that happens. And it's so graphic that it almost seems like it's out of place. So I could tell a lot of people in my theater didn't like it. Oh, speaking of people in my theater, I'm speaking from experience when I say it's polarizing because there's literally a guy who was in my row who kept saying, "Oh my gosh, this is the dumbest thing I ever watched." He said it multiple times. I think on the third time, someone else said, "Yo, shut up, it's good." And then, after the movie, I sat there and I ate my popcorn. As you know, a bunch of people were congregating talking about what they thought of the movie. And yeah, it was either hated or loved it. Anyway, I don't want to harp on. It's a great acting performance from our two leads. The story starts off, admittedly, kind of basic, but they throw in enough twists and wrinkles to like pique your curiosity and honestly keep you watching because you want the answers to this movie. And you want to figure out which one of the theories in your head is right. Like, what is going on? Like, is he crazy? Is he not crazy? Is she manipulative? Is she a victim? Are there aliens in orbit or not? Like, yeah, I thought it was good. And it's less than 2 hours long, so it doesn't really overstay its welcome. I do think the final scene, if that's a negative, I would give it. The final scene went on a little too long. Yeah, I would watch this again. Again, I like I said, I fall onto the like it side of things, but I completely understand if someone watches this movie and is like, yeah, it's a swing and a miss. So with that being said, I would give Bugonia a 4 out of 5. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think of the movie right down there in the comments. I appreciate you. And until next time, I'm out.